This is Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. I am your host, Jason Spears, and Colt fans, we've got a lot to talk about.
What's up? This is Luke from the For the Culture podcast, and you are listening to Culture Uncut.
Welcome back to Culture Uncut, guys. This is your host, Jason Spears, and the Colts schedule for 2026 has now been released. Shout out to the people at Colts.com for their schedule release. The Simpsons themed release was absolutely hilarious. If there's one thing this organization does well, it's stuff like that. It's schedule releases, it's the draft coverage, it's behind the scenes coverage. I thought they did a really good job with the schedule release. Some really funny parts of that Simpsons themed release. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out on Colts.com or on Twitter under the Colts Twitter page. It's really funny. The Jags part is hilarious. There's a Tyreek Hill part that's pretty funny. There's a lot of funny parts in it. I don't think Chris Ballard's probably happy with a lot of that, but oh well. I think that sometimes the best way to be, to laugh and to make the best of a situation is to be self-deprecating, and I think they were that. And you'll see what I mean. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but you'll see what I mean by that when you watch it with the Jacksonville stuff. But with that being said, I wanted to hop on here, kind of go through the schedule, give you my really early season predictions, and kind of just and get your opinions in the comments, obviously, because I'm always interested to hear the difference of opinion from Colt fans, because I've seen a lot of varying opinions. Some people are super positive, some people are super negative. And I haven't gone through the schedule. I mean, I've gone through it in terms of like, okay, we play no 4 p.m. games. We have the London game. We have, two, I think, night. We have the NBC game, and then the Amazon game. So like in those terms, I went through the schedule, but I haven't gone through and done a prediction game by game thing yet, because I wanted to do that on the show, because I thought that'd be a little bit more interesting, and I thought it'd be kind of fun just to do it on the fly as opposed to coming in with my schedule predictions or whatever. So, a couple things before we get into it. Obviously, this is all, this is all just for fun. I mean, because we all know, like, there's going to be injuries. We think teams are going to be good. We think teams are going to be bad. We have no idea what's going to happen, because let's be honest, a lot of the NFL is determined by who gets injured, when they get injured, how long they're injured, and that's the way it goes. So I will absolutely say without question, there's a very good chance I'm completely wrong on my predictions, because obviously there's going to be a lot of injuries to players on the Colts, to players on other teams. You don't want that to happen, but that's the way it is. That's the reality of the sport. Unfortunately, players are going to get hurt. So who knows who's going to be good? Who knows who's going to be bad? That's the fun. That's why they play the games. Hopefully there are no injuries, but that's just not reality in this the way the sport's played. So they've done a lot of things to try to have there be less injuries, but when you're playing such a high speed, compact, contact sport, collision sport, there's going to be a lot. And I think that, honestly, that more than anything, I mean, when you get into games, it's usually turnovers, but just an overview of football, injuries really plays the biggest part in who's going to win a Super Bowl. If you get lucky with injuries, you can make a run. If you're unlucky, you won't make the playoffs. So it all depends. So I wanted to kind of just state that. Obviously, that's stating what everybody already knows, but I think I just wanted to point that out going in to the prediction. So I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to go through the preseason. I'm not going to predict preseason games, but I will say this, there's a lot of positive things about the preseason in terms of player reps. I think it'll be good for a lot of the back end guys to get a lot of reps in preseason. That's usually when I watch preseason. That's what I'm looking at, seeing if there's somebody that's capable of helping this team in the regular season. Guys that are special teams, guys that can play special teams well, guys that that make plays that you notice on film. So a lot of people hate preseason, but I think it's needed to see what you have, especially with the UDFAs and a lot of the back roster guys, because sometimes you get a diamond in the rough and you just never know. So I wanted to kind of just touch on why I think preseason games are important. I certainly would not play a lot of my veteran starters much in the preseason because it's just not worth the risk. But young guys got to play, man. They need reps, so I would expect that. So our first game is Thursday, August 13th against the Fightin' Diana Rossinis, the New England Patriots, my favorite team in the NFL, the team I love more than anyone. No, I'm just kidding. I absolutely hate that organization and everything it stands for. So great start to the season. Hope it's a preseason game, but I always hope we beat New England. I hate them so much. But yeah, so it'll be Vrabel's first game and whatever. But yeah, that's our first preseason game. Thursday night, August 13th at New England, 7:30 p.m. So then we have 9 days off. And then Saturday, we're home for our last two. So on the 22nd of August, we get Atlanta, 1 p.m. And I'm guessing I wonder if we'll have any inter-squad stuff with one of these teams. I haven't looked into that. But they usually do that with the second team they play. So I don't know if the Falcons are close enough to do that. But if not, maybe they do it with the Lions. But the Lions, of course, will be the final preseason game at Lucas Oil. I didn't say. Let me start again. Thursday, August 13th at New England, 7:30 p.m. Saturday, August 22nd, Atlanta Falcons at home at Lucas Oil at 1 p.m. And then our final preseason game, Saturday, August 29th, against the Detroit Lions at Lucas Oil, 3 p.m. So that is our preseason schedule. Almost at spring training. I'm still in baseball mode, but hopefully the young players will get the reps they need, and they can help us during the regular season because I think we're going to need it. So let's get into this schedule. So week 1. My hometown team. I was hoping this would not be the first game, but it is. And who knows? I mean, it's Jesse Menner's first game. These early games, you just never know. September 13th, 1 p.m. CBS, the Baltimore Ravens. Look, I'm never going to bet against Lamar. We've had trouble containing him in the past, so I don't think we win this game. I think I think the Ravens have a better team. And we'll see if I'm wrong, but I think that's a win for the Ravens, loss for the Colts. So I'm just going to keep track of the wins here because I think there's going to be more losses than wins. So then after the Ravens game, we then fly to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, coming off their first playoff-less season in a while. Don't even remember the last time they didn't make the playoffs. I'm not sure if it's their home opener. I haven't looked at their schedule, but it's September 20th, 8:20 NBC Sunday night game, our only Sunday night game of the year, unless we get one later in the year when they haven't determined when we're going to play yet. Again, I think this will be competitive. I think the Ravens game will be competitive. I think there'll be competitive games, but I just think they're just a better team. I think I do. The Colts do tend to play well in Kansas City. So I do think it's going to be a competitive game, and who knows how good Mahomes is going to look, but Mahomes is coming off an injury and Jones is coming off an injury. So who knows how Jones is going to look, but I mean, Arrowhead at night. Yeah, I don't like our chances. So I'm going to say Kansas City wins that and puts us at 0-2. Then we come home to face what I think is the best defense in the NFL, bar none, and they got stronger in the draft. The Houston Texans, September 27th, 1 p.m. CBS, and we play nothing but 1 p.m. games outside of the two primetime games and the Germany game. or London game, excuse me. Are we in Germany or London? I think we're in London. Whatever. But anyway, Houston. Unfortunately for us, CJ Stroud seems to only play his best games against us and plays like crap against everyone else. So I am going to take the Texans. I think it'll still be close, but I think their defense is just too good. I think Houston wins the division. Just right, just from the gate. I think they're the best team. So I like Houston in this game. Think it'll be close. They always play close games, but the Colts never win any of them. So we have us starting 0-3. Then we go to the UK, to London, I think. I'll get it right. I don't know. London for the October 4th game against the Commanders at 9:30 a.m. on the NFL Network. This is a weird game because with Jaden Daniels, I still don't think the Commanders are as good as they were when they went to the NFC Championship game. It was kind of like a lot of luck that got them there. But Jaden Daniels played really well his first year. He got hurt last year. So I don't know what to make of them as a team. I love Styles. They got him. I think they've done some good things in the offseason, but I'm still not sure where they are. So I'm going to give this one to the Colts. They seem to play well on these overseas trips recently. I think they find a way to win this game and go to 1-3. And that is, again, October 4th. The birthday game, they didn't want to buy after the trip to London, so because they figured, hey, we're going to play Pittsburgh after the bye, so we might as well just not take a bye and just play Pittsburgh because we already know how that's going to go. October 11th, there is not enough money in the world for me to pick the Colts to win at Pittsburgh on my birthday, by the way. October 11th, 1 p.m. CBS. Colts have won 3 times in Pittsburgh since 1970, the last win being in 2008. They're not winning. So that's 1-4. So then we get the Titans at home on October 18th. I like the Colts in this game. I think the Titans are improved. I think they're going to be tougher than they've been. But I do think by this time we should be playing much better. Like week 6 or whatever, we should be hitting our stride. So I'm going to pick the Colts in this game, in a close game. I think the Colts win this one, so I'm going to give them a win over the Tennessee Titans. Until they prove they can beat us, I'm going to pick the Colts over the Titans. Kind of like until the Colts prove they can beat Houston or Jacksonville, I'm not picking the Colts in those games either. So I like the Colts over the Titans on October 18th. That one is on Fox for some reason. So then we get a 2-game road trip. On the 25th of October, we go 1 p.m. CBS at Minnesota. This is kind of a pick'em game. Minnesota's another kind of like Washington team. I don't think they have great quarterback play, but they do have some great receivers. I'm going to pick the Colts in this game. I know they have Jefferson and they've got all these guys, Addison, and I think they just signed Juwan Jennings. But I am going to take the Colts in this game against that Flores defense. I think they find a way to win in Minnesota and get their 3rd win of the season. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy or Kyler Murray, I think the Colts will do fine against either one of them. So, no big deal there. Big deal the next week, though. Going to our favorite place, the Jacksonville Jaguars, to play them at 1 p.m. on CBS. Another team that I don't care what the spread is, who's on our team, who's on their team. I am not picking the Colts. The Jags are going to win that game. Colts never win there. I am convinced they will never win there again, kind of like Pittsburgh, until we have like another Peyton Manning-like quarterback, and I don't see that happen anytime soon. So, or Andrew Luck, and neither of those guys are walking through the door. So, I am taking the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Colts handily in that game, as per usual. So now we head to America's team, the Fightin' Jerry Jones, November 8th, 1 p.m. on Fox. Man, this is a tougher one because I don't know, man. The Cowboys defense, I don't know if they can make it over in 1 year. And it was so bad last year. I know Christian Parker came over from the Eagles and he's going to run a different style than Flus ran, but I'm still not sold on that team. Their offense is legit. They got a great back. quarterback played out of his mind last year, 2 legit receivers, 3 really. I think Ryan Flournoy's been really good for them. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I want to pick the Colts, man. I really do. Because I think this is a winnable game. But I think I like the Dallas offense more than I like the Colts offense. So I'm going to go with Dallas in this game. In a close game, maybe even an overtime game. So now we get another home game against the Dolphins, who are clearly tanking this year. November 15th, 1 p.m. CBS. I like the Colts big in this game. I think they'll win that one by 10 or more points. Then on a short week, they head to Houston. Oh, yay, that'll be fun. Short week to Houston. This one's on Amazon, 8:15. I don't even know if because I don't have Amazon. I don't even know if I'm going to get the free trial just to watch the one game. I don't know. By that point, if they're like 1-8 or something, I probably won't. But if not, maybe I will. But it's, again, I like Houston. They're better. That's all you can really say. And barring a bunch of injuries, Houston and Jacksonville both are better than us, period. So I am going to take the Texans. Oh, I got to write down the teams I've picked. So that I did pick the Colts to beat the Dolphins. I'm keeping track of who the wins here. And then we get the Giants on the 29th after. So a little kind of a mini bye. Then we get the Giants at home on the 29th. 1 p.m. Fox. Listen, I think the Giants are going to be a really good team. Okay, not really good, but I think they're going to be a very improved team. They've got a very, very good head coach, a proven head coach. I think he is going to have them playing. I think they're going to be competitive in that division. The biggest question I have about the New York Football Giants is their quarterback, and can he stay healthy? And if he does, they are going to be a problem because that defensive front is elite. You've got Carter, you've got Burns, you've got Thibodeau, you've got so many pass rushers. I would kill for any of them. Well, maybe not Thibodeau, but Carter and Burns are as good as it gets. And they've got a legit coach now. He knows how to win. I think this is a tough game, the Giants game, but I am going to say the Colts win this one late. So I'm going to give this win to the Colts. It's going to be close. I expect the Giants to be a tough out, a lot tougher than probably most people do. So then we get our bye week, which is week 13, which is my mom's birthday week, December, I think 6th it is. So we get a bye week after 13 straight games, and God knows we were going to need it. And then from the frying pan into the fire. After the bye week, we go to Philly. Philly is an interesting team because they didn't really play well down the stretch last year, and the Colts usually play them tough too, and they usually lose. I think A.J. Brown will be gone. I think they'll be a different team this year. I don't think Sirianni is a great coach, but he's got a great record. I don't like Sirianni at all. I don't like his, I just don't like his way. He's arrogant, and I remember when they beat us by 1 whole point the year we won 4 games, and the way he was talking shit to our crowd. He can eat a bag of, well, never mind, I'm not going to curse. But anyway, I do think this game's going to be closer than people think, but I do think we're on the road in a really tough place to win. I'm going to take the Eagles in this game, but I think it'll be relatively close. So that's on the 13th on Fox at 1 p.m. And then we head to the Tennessee on December 20th. So kind of I don't know, Nashville doesn't get that cold usually. So at least we're not playing any cold weather games and not a lot of travel. So, except for obviously overseas and then back and playing Pittsburgh. That's nuts, but whatever. So we got the Titans December 20th, 1 p.m. CB. I think they're probably playing. There were 4 weeks left. They're probably playing for pride at that point. I don't know, but I'm taking the Colts over the Titans until they beat us. So Tennessee, I have us beating them twice. Then TBD at home against the Bengals. I guess they're thinking maybe there's a chance this game will mean something. They can flex it out to Sunday night or whatever, but I don't think it's going to. If Joe Burrow's healthy, this is easy for me. But if he's not, and which has been the case the last couple of years, could be something completely different. I'm taking the Bengals. I just like their offense better. Their defense, I think it's still trash, but I think it'll be a close. I think most of these games are going to be close. Most of the games we lost last year were one possession games. I think a lot of these games are going to be the same. They're going to be very close. But I just feel like our biggest flaw as a football team is pass rush. And when you don't have a pass rush, let's go through quarterbacks we're going to play with no pass rush. Okay, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Jackson Dart, Jalen for the Eagles, and then, down the stretch we get Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence again, so it's hard to pick a lot of wins there. Jalen Hurts, sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think of his last name, but it's hard to, that's what it comes down to. If you can't pressure these guys, it just doesn't matter. So I'm taking the Bengals in that game. Okay, so we might actually have one cold weather game. I didn't even because it looks like a Penn State helmet on the thing, but it's actually the Browns that we're playing. January 3rd, Fox, 1 p.m. I like the Colts in this game. I think it's going to be cold. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Browns by then, but I think their season will probably be in shambles by then. So I'm going to take the Colts to beat the Browns. And then obviously lose to the Jags to finish out the season. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. That feels like a lot. It does feel like a lot. But Washington was bad last year. Tennessee was bad. Minnesota was bad. Dolphins were horrible. Giants were bad. Actually, wait a minute. I think I might have wrote this down wrong. I think it might, maybe 7 teams. Because 7 and 10 sounds about what I would predict. Washington, Tennessee, Minnesota, Dolphins, Giants, Tennessee, Cleveland. Yeah, that's about right. I look at so when I look at this, I look at maybe the Bengals, maybe the Cowboys are games that you could flip. And maybe the last Jags game, but we do not beat the Jags or the Texans under Shane Steichen. I think 2 games. So the only team he can consistently beat is he can beat the Titans. He cannot beat the Texans or the Jags. So until he proves it to me, I'm a prove it guy. You haven't proven it to me. So after further review, I've got 7 wins and they seem logical. Tennessee twice, Washington, Minnesota, Dolphins, Giants, Tennessee, Cleveland. So I have them going 7 and 10. The over/under on wins this year is 8.5. I would absolutely hammer the under on that. I think I am going to hammer the under on that because it's a win-win. If they lose, if they're 7 and 10, I win money. If they go 9 and 8, they have a winning record. But I just don't see it happening. I think this is the end of the Chris Ballard era. But again, the biggest thing for this season, 2 things. One is micro, one is macro, right? The macro is injuries. If they stay relatively healthy at the positions, they'll have a shot in almost every game. The micro is within the game, they have to do 2 things. They have to take care of the ball and they have to take the ball away. If you look at it, if those 3 things happen, right, they can win any game on the schedule. That's football. That's really all it is. Health and turnovers. So, as negative as I've been, if this young defense comes out and is like a turnover forcing machine like it was in 18, because remember, this is kind of similar to 18 in terms of Flus came in and took over a defense that was kind of old and shitty. They were like 27th in the league in points per game and got it to, I think, 11th in points per game that first year. And they were top 10 in turnovers forced, right? So it's a little different because Lou's been here a year. But think about it. Last year, our starters, opening day, let me think, how many weren't here? Sauce wasn't here. Halsey wasn't here. Gaither wasn't here. Wally wasn't here. CJ Allen wasn't here. And whoever starts at edge wasn't here. So we're going to have 6 new starters. So 6 new starters on defense can be looked at 2 ways. 1, they're young and they're going to make a lot of mistakes, or 2, they're going to be fast and, make a lot of plays. I tend to think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. I do think this defense will be a lot faster, cover tight ends better, cover the middle of the field better, and I think they're going to force some turnovers, but they're also going to make some mistakes, and I'm okay with that because I look at it as you grow, right? You learn. I think these guys are all ballers. I think they'll learn, they'll get better, they'll grow, and they'll be better. They'll play better down the stretch. So, but again, everything with football begins and ends with health. And if you don't have it, you're not going very far. And everyone knows it. I think our seasons have been destroyed in a lot of ways by health. I mean, last year, not only Jones, but Buck has that injury and he can't play for however long. Sauce is injured. Ward is injured. Kenny's got the Achilles, so he doesn't play well. I mean, our linebackers are terrible. It just was a bad year for injuries. But at the end of the day, and I want to point this out, I'm not using it as an excuse. They're a reality of the game for every team. The good ones, like the 49ers, overcome them. They find a way to overcome injuries. The Colts are the opposite. They find a way to shrink in the biggest moments, but injuries are not. That's what they do. And until they prove me otherwise, that's what I'm going to think they are, as long as Chris Ballard is in charge of this football team. So if he wants me to shut up, he's going to have to prove it, or I'm just going to keep talking until he's gone, which, based on what I just predicted, will be at the end of this year when they don't renew his contract. So, with all of that being said, I think there's a lot of positives about this team. There are things I'm really looking forward to, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm excited to see the growth of our safety group. I think we have a lot. Really, our secondary. I love our secondary. I like our linebackers have been flipped from really slow and just not playmakers to more athletic, processing, fast, playmaking type guys that can run and cover. So I'm excited to watch this defense. I really am. I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm not saying it's going to be a top 10 defense. I'm not saying it's going to make the same jump that the 18 defense made. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just excited to watch young, hungry, physical, smart guys that eat, sleep, breathe football. I'm excited to watch those guys get out on the field and just lay people and just play physical. I want a defense that teams line up and say, "Oh shit, I don't want to play this team." That's the kind of team I want, because they're going to hit you in the mouth. They're going to do it legally, but they're going to hit you in the mouth. You're going to know you played a football game. And I think the kind of guys that they drafted and have, kind of added over the last couple of years are those type of guys. The offense, special teams I'm not concerned about. Rigo's Rigo. I think Groupie or Schrader, either one, will be fine. I think our coverage units are going to be better with the guys that we have. The offense is a little concerning only because we don't have a guy in the backfield that I feel super comfortable about backing up JT. And that's kind of my thing with the injuries. What happens if JT gets injured? What are we doing? We've got a young guy that's not really been asked to block. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. And he can run, but you got to be able to block. Neither one of these guys, I think, are great blockers. The Kentucky kid is more of a willing blocker. Giddens is just not good at it. I honestly think McGowan is probably the better all-around back, but Giddens is the better runner of the football. But maybe I'm even wrong on that. I don't know. I am concerned about that. I am also concerned with, we lost Braden, and I believe in Travis, but I just, it's a slight concern for me. Slight concern. I want to see Farmer push Gonzalez, because then if Farmer pushes Gonzalez and gets that job, you've got another physical, just a monster physical force, on opposite side of Quentin, and then you can make Gonzalez like a swing player. He can play right tackle, left tackle, guard. So you've got essentially, a couple of guys that you can move around out there, and along with, Freeland or whoever, or Tenuta or whoever the other guy is, it makes your offensive line better. So I'll be interested to see Farmer and if he can beat out Gonzalez, because honestly, I think he might be the most vulnerable player on that line in terms of, because he's playing out of position, in my opinion. He played mostly tackle in college. I think he's more of a tackle. So that'll be interesting to watch during preseason. But I when I say I'm concerned about the offense, I don't think they're going to be bad. I'm not sure you're going to get the production you got last year. You got, a quarterback coming off an Achilles. You don't have Pittman anymore as like your security guy. So you're going to have to make do with what we have now, which is, Doolin and Akine, which I'm not really sold on him, and Burks, and I don't know how much they're going to give Burks. I don't know. I think they really want to play Doolin, and I like Doolin. He makes plays when he's out there. But I also like him on special teams. So, there's some concerns there. The wear and tear on JT, man. I just, I am excited to see what Pierce can do with the full season of being the guy, and what Downs is going to do. And I think you're going to see him move, Warren around a lot. I think you'll see him in the slot a lot. In the backfield some. I think you're going to see him move around H-back. I think because he's like a chess piece, and that's kind of how Shane treats a lot of these guys. He likes to move guys around, and I think that'll be good for our offense, because you don't want to have a predictable offense. And one thing I've always respected about Shane's ability to call a game is he doesn't just line guys up at the same spot every single play. Because we're just not really good enough for that. Like back in the day, Marvin lined up on the right, Reggie lined up on the left, Dallas was, either in the slot or at tight end, and you just ran your plays because we were that good. They knew what we were going to run. They couldn't stop it. It didn't matter. But we're not that good. We don't have Hall of Famers at quarterback and both wide receiver spots, and a Ring of Honor guy at tight end, although I think when it's all said and done, Tyler Warren might be a Ring of Honor guy. But my point is, Shane's really got to work this year. Like I'll be interested to see what he does. I still think Burks can be used in a lot of ways that are positive. I would still like to add another receiver. I certainly want a veteran running back. Abdullah is now off the board. I would have kept him. I thought he brought a lot to the table in terms of return game. And, an efficient kind of third down back, and they just let him walk for nothing. I think he went to the Jags too. I'm not positive though. I just know he's not on the Colts anymore, and that's a little unsettling, because I think having that kind of scat back guy that can go out of the backfield and catch the ball, has been important to Shane's offense, and we really kind of don't have that right now. So we'll see what happens. I think Chris Ballard's going to sign some guys. I just don't think it's going to be anybody that's going to be worth a damn. Like, the only guy I think he might sign that I would think would be somebody that would make the roster, unless he's already been picked up, is Chris Lamons to back up at nickel and also play special teams. That would be a solid, cheap guy, but I legitimately do not think he is going to sign another edge player. I think he is going to say the best guy between Key, Curry, Clemens, and Gums is going to play the opposite side. That's what I think. And I think and JTT. I honestly think it legit might come down to JTT and Curry. And I only say Curry because he's like the thing I like about Curry is he's a high effort player. Like he'll chase down backside run, from the backside he'll chase down run plays. He's just a high motor guy. Those guys always get the most out of their ability. He's not like a sexy pass rusher. He doesn't have elite bend or any of that stuff, but it's going to be tough to keep him off the field, a guy that plays that hard. You're not going to outwork him. Again, I don't think he's going to be a great pass rusher, but I don't like Clemens at all. I think you can play key at his position and maybe on passing downs, but you want a good base down defender that can defend both the run and clean up on the pass. And I think he's very similar and a lot cheaper than Kwity in that way. So I think that's going to be an interesting spot to watch because I don't think Chris Ballard's going to sign anybody else. I really don't. Not at that position. I think he thinks he has everybody that he needs. I think he's completely wrong, but he's arrogant and that's how he thinks. So I think we're looking at a competition for that second edge spot. And then as far as everybody else on defense, I think it's pretty much set. You're going to line up Buck and Grove in the middle, occasionally mix in some 5 down with Wooden, Gaither and Allen at the starting linebacker spots, maybe bring in Betcher on pass downs. Definitely think Betcher is going to play special teams. And then corners and safety were set, I think. I mean, Wally at nickel, Ward and Sauce outside, and then Halsey at strong, and then Bynum at free. I mean, I think the defense is set. 6 new players since last year. I like that. And the guys we brought in, I like a lot. So outside of, edge 2, who I don't know who that'll be, like CJ Allen, like Sauce Gardner, like Gaither. I think he'll be a good veteran presence. I like Halsey. I'm trying to think. Who am I forgetting? I like Colby Wooden, although he's not a starter. I like Justin Wally. So I like all those new guys that we brought in that, and I think Sauce having a full off season, hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully Ward can stay healthy. We have the makings of one of the best secondaries in the league as far as starters go. Once they start dropping, that's all things are off, but all bets are off. But I'm it's going to be an interesting year. One thing I can promise you, if they don't make the playoffs and they're not competitive and they have a bad year, if it's another 8-9 year, they're not extending Ballard. This is the only way Ballard comes back, I promise you, is if this team makes the playoffs. That's it. So it is what it is. I think that's been made clear to him. That's why he hasn't been extended. So GMs don't usually go into their last year of a contract unless it's all, unless you have to prove something, right? And they've let him go into the last year of this deal. They've never done that with him before. And there's a reason for that. Because if he doesn't deliver this season, he will be gone. Otherwise, they would have just extended him already. So they go 7-10 like I predicted here. He's gone. And by gone, I mean his contract runs out and he's gone. It's not a situation where they have to fire him. His contract will just run out. So I think that's a smart move by Carly and the girls because I don't want an extension. Let him play the thing out. And if they suck again, it's clear that his way of doing things finally will be clear it's been clear to us. It'll finally be clear to them that he is not the guy. So I am predicting a 7-10 season with a 2-4 record in the division. What say all of you fans? Some people say I'm too negative. Then when I like the draft, people say I'm too positive. I'm a Ballard ball washer. I'm sure now I'm a hater, even though I said I'm really excited to watch the defense. I'm just keeping it a stack with you guys. I'm always going to be honest about how I feel about a team. Again, I know I've said this 15 times, but it always comes down to health. That's it. And health and depth. Do you have the depth at the positions where you're not healthy to be able to overcome that? Last year, we simply just did not have it because we lost our best 3-tech. We lost a quarterback that was playing the best football of his career and had nothing to back him up because our backup smashed himself in the face with a weight. And then, I'm trying to think. And then Ward had like 3 concussions in a year. Wish he would have retired, but he didn't. And Sauce was on a gimpy leg. Kenny was on a gimpy leg. It was too much to overcome. And I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out. So we'll find out. I honestly, again, I don't think we have a good enough roster to overcome injuries. But again, you can have lucky years like the Commanders had a couple years ago where everything went right for them. Then last year, everything went wrong for them. So we'll see what happens. That's another game that's kind of a toss-up for me, because if we get a healthy Jaden Daniels, I think it's an interesting game. But I'm sticking with my 7-10 prediction. I don't think I have any real upsets picked there. Like, usually the Colts will pull a game out their ass that I don't think they're going to win. So they probably will win 8 games. I don't know. But, because they usually pull one out. But it's not going to be... I don't see it being Pittsburgh. I don't see it being any of our divisional games. Like I said, it could be, I think it could be either Dallas or the Bengals. They're not winning more than 7 or 8 games. And I tried to be positive with this. This was me being my positive, like, hey, 7, 8 wins. But yeah, he's just going to have to dial up a lot of stuff defensively because, the gauntlet. So you get Lamar, you get Mahomes, CJ Stroud. I know he's bad against everyone else. He is Joe Montana against us. Jaden Daniels. The corpse of Aaron. I don't know I'm not worried about Aaron Rodgers, but we just never won in Pittsburgh. Cam Ward, young. Kyler Murray, J.J. McCarthy, whatever. Trevor Lawrence carves us up. Dak Prescott, really good. He's coming off his best season of his career. Really good quarterback with elite playmakers. Dolphins, Malik Willis, I think they're tanking, but whatever. Back to C.J. Stroud, then Jackson Dart, then Jalen Hurts, then, back to Cam Ward, Burrow, whoever for the Browns by that point. January 3rd, it'll probably be Shador. And then Trevor Lawrence again. So the back half is not nearly as bad as the front half, but the front half, especially the first 5 games, there's a world where I can see them starting 0-5. There is a world where I can see that happening. Because they are not winning at Pittsburgh. You can argue with me all day. They are not winning there. They never do. They find a way to lose every time. There was a game where we were ahead, I think 28-10 going into the fourth quarter. We lost it. There was a game where we had like a 20-yard field goal to win it. We missed it at the end with no time left. We will lose there. It doesn't matter. And we always play, we either lose like that or just play the worst game we played all year. Like last year, we played great and we went to Pittsburgh and we played our usual Pittsburgh game, which is really bad. And everybody's like, well, we suck again. But we really didn't suck. It was just Pittsburgh. So best case scenario out of the first 5 games, worst case is 0-5. Best case, man, I just don't see any. I saw people predicting we beat Houston in week 3. I think we have a better chance against the Ravens, to be honest with you. Because the Ravens have found they've got a rookie coach. He's got to be learning the players. It's the first week. Maybe that game, but man, I don't see it. I literally think the best case is probably 1-4. The best case is 5-0, but realistically 1-4 probably. So I've turned this into a 45-minute pod, but I hadn't been on in a while and I wanted to chop it up with you guys and give you my thoughts on the games. Again, my final prediction, 7 wins, 10 losses, 2-4 in division. I don't know if that'll be dead last. I will definitely be behind. I think the way the division will finish will be Houston, Jacksonville, Colts, Titans. That's the way I see it finishing out. What do you guys think? What is your prediction for the season? What are your expectations and why? Like, if you think they're going to win 12 games, why? I just would love to hear the explanation on that. If you think they're going to win 5 games, what's your explanation for that? Leave it in the comments. I definitely would love to hear from you guys, and I always enjoy the views of others, especially people that have like the opposite view. Because you don't know how badly I want this team to be good and for me to be wrong. Like last year, I was so excited because I thought they were finally good, and then the last 7 weeks, it was like me just getting kicked in the balls repeatedly, like that. There's a meme online of a guy just getting kicked in the balls. That was me. That was us. It was all of us. Just a game after game, just brutal loss after brutal loss. I just want them to be good. I want to go back to the playoffs, have a chance to win a Super Bowl. That's all I want. So I don't want to be right about this stuff. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What's your final record, and why? And your biggest concern going into the season. For me, 7-10, because I just don't think the roster is good enough, and I think they're playing a lot of very good teams. Their division is a lot better than people give it credit for. Houston has an elite defense. Jacksonville is a very well-rounded team. And then my biggest concern is always health. Buck's health, Ward's health, Wally's health, JT's health, Daniel Jones's health, health and depth are my biggest concerns. So let me know your prediction for the season, why, and then your biggest concerns for the season. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to wrap this up. Sorry it's been so long. I know I talked a ton. But it's a schedule release, and it was a lot of fun. We rarely get fun moments. Once the season starts, it probably won't be as much fun. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know what I'm going to do next. It's a bit of a hiatus after the draft and after the schedule stuff, unless there's some news that comes out. I am going to have to figure out a topic to hit to keep you guys entertained until training camp starts, which is not until July. So I will figure that out. But I appreciate you guys listening, always appreciate the support, and I hope that everyone has a great weekend, and hey, happy schedule release day. It's out. We can now pick out the games we're going to go to. Hilariously enough, I was planning on going to the Commanders game in Washington, and now that game is in London, and I don't have the money to go to London. So, no game for me. But that's all right. As long as they win, I don't care. Go to London, get a win, come back home, do your thing. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening. This has been Culture Uncut with your host, Jason Spears.